Welcome to the 10-7 show. We are live. Welcome back with Tyra, Goose, and myself.
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
So many things that we could talk about today, but we're just going to focus on the things that we're going to talk about today. But it's been quite a crazy week. Personally and generally. Mm-hmm. But like I always like to start every show. First of all, welcome back to the 10-7 show. Tara and Tyra and Goose, how y'all been?
Okay.
Yeah, I've been good. Mm-hmm. Actually.
They were good.
Glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm. You. How about you guys?
I've been good. Nice. Playing.
Nice.
All right.
I mean,
big elephant in the room.
Right. Consider the circumstances,
I mean,
with everything that has going on this week, we might as well just give it a 30 seconds to a minute. With everything that's been going on this week, it's just been a crazy time. A lot of people have been glued to the TV. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have been like just waiting to see what ball is going to drop next.
Right.
The nervousness of an inauguration. Of course, I'm referring to the attack on the Capitol this week. History, living history. I mean, for a person like me that is a fake history nerd, I kind of enjoyed. Like, I didn't enjoy the fact that people died and stuff, but I enjoyed it. I was glued watching every minute of what was going on.
Same.
I mean, I was asleep because I worked the night before, and then Tyra came in and told me what was going on. I turned it on. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I couldn't stop watching.
Yeah, Mom and I were at the hairdresser, and we were watching it, and then everything broke loose. And then as we're leaving the hairdresser, Goose calls me. He's like, "Are y'all watching the news?" I was like, "Yeah, we are." So I forget what he said after that, but like, I don't like everything else after that was a blur.
Yeah.
It was just too crazy for words.
It was probably something like, "This expletive is crazy."
Yeah.
Yes.
There were a string of expletives, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's up, Pete? Pete says, "What's up, guys? What's going on, Pete?"
I couldn't even see. Oh,
yeah, all right.
I needed. Yeah, I didn't see what his comment was because it was white and it blended into the.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, "What did he say?"
I can take care of that.
Yeah,
I can take care of that. But with all that being said, of course, we're here to have some fun. We're here to give you some information. An important, serious topic to talk about today. But of course, we're going to have some fun first, and we're going to go with everybody's favorite part of the show, and y'all know what that is. Of course, it's the Would You Rather segment of the show. What you sipping on, Goose?
I got some Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer, I love it.
You want to know what I'm sipping on?
Sure, I didn't know you were sipping on something. What you sipping on?
Rainforest water from Costa Rica.
Okay.
That's what the bottle says. That's what the bottle say.
Is it a cute bottle?
Is that metal or is it like plastic?
No, it's aluminum.
It's aluminum.
Okay.
And the only thing Eli said to me was like, "Oh, well, at least you're not killing the environment." Great, thanks, son.
Rainforest water from Costa Rica.
Yeah, it's a gimmick. I swear to God, it's scoop your punch.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Sheena? How you doing?
Sheena.
What's up, Sheena?
So yeah.
So the Would You Rather segment is brought to you by Joe Ave Multimedia. Check out Joe Ave Multimedia on Instagram right now. They're only on Instagram right now as a fresh new company, but check them out. All your media needs, from logo animations and all voiceovers and things like that. You can check them out. Hit them up on Instagram. JOAVE Multimedia. All right. And with all that being said, like I said, it's time for Would You Rather. So I know Goose has one, and I know Tyra has one.
Yeah, I have one.
And I didn't create one off the top of my head, so I don't have one this week.
Well, let these two go then.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go first.
All right. So, would you rather have no emotions or be able to deeply feel every little thing?
Wow.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I'd rather have no emotions.
That's where I live.
Really?
I'd rather have no emotions. Yeah.
Yo, if you know how, first of all, if you felt every little thing, you know how crazy you'd be.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you'd have no poker face. people would play you all the time.
Yeah.
But you would be crazy if you had no emotion either.
Nah.
Well, but see,
couldn't
you know
Maybe
what,
a
Goose?
serial killer.
Here's the funny-
Exactly.
But here's the thing about it: guys kind of guard their emotions anyway.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We kind of, you know,
That's a shorter walk for me.
right? Yeah, exactly. Like, Tyra always says to me, "I don't know if you like something or not." I keep it kind of even keeled all the time.
No, the house could be on fire, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, the house on fire."
You know
I
why?
can
He
see
like,
that.
all right.
Got to be level headed.
You know why? Because I think better like that.
Exactly. Got to
I
be level
can't.
headed.
If I'm running around and my emotions all crazy now, I can't think like that.
Mhm.
So I got to remain calm because people gonna look to me for answers.
Right.
Okay.
I'll be panicking while the house is on
See?
fire.
Exactly.
So he's got to be calm because something will get lost, forgotten, whatever.
I'll give you a quick example of me being emotionless, and I don't even know if Tyra. She never said anything to me about it. It was New Year's Day. New Year, like we got into bed. It was late at night, and we heard some gunshots close.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on my phone, like swiping through something,
Mm-hmm.
and Tyra pops up. You hear that? And I was just like, yeah. And I just kept on, popping through. I didn't hear anything hit the house. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was all right, as long as nobody's hurt, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be cool. But she popped up like she was ready to go. So
Absolutely.
as long as
I was waiting for it to get
break.
closer. Like the last time, I was like, "Oh my gosh, here we
go." Right.
But no emotion. I guess the ladies say y'all didn't really give your answers.
Yeah, y'all didn't give an answer.
Oh.
Y'all just scoffed at ours.
I don't know. I don't think I could be completely emotionless.
Emotions lead to the dark side of the force.
Yeah, I couldn't be completely
Barnes.
emotionless. Like I would. I think if I had felt deeply, everything would probably help me be more empathetic towards people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would try to feel everything more deeply, but not make my decisions emotionally.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn on this one. I don't know. I get where the guys are coming from because it makes more sense. But if we're together, then I can be a basket case because he'll be in control of things.
Right.
But eventually he's going to say, would you just calm down?
Definitely.
Yeah. Right.
Calm down. What you mean? The world's falling apart. Just relax. Let me figure it out.
It is. But
exactly.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, yo, don't worry about the world. Worry about this room we in right now.
Goose, like, and see, and then he puts stuff into perspective. You know what I mean? Like you told me once upon like your mom's house or somebody, the neighbor's house was on fire, and he said to his mom, he was like, that's why we got insurance. I was like, that's right. We do have insurance. Let's burn. Meanwhile, like, get everything. Get the cat. Get the dog. I need my Yeah. So yeah, he puts everything in perspective.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let me go. Mine's a little bit lighter. It's weird, but I don't even know what I would pick yet. So I'm still thinking.
Okay.
But mine is, would you rather eat candy flavored French fries or French fry flavored candy?
French fry flavored candy. I don't know if I can wrap my mind around that. Wait a minute.
That's why I was like, wait.
That's a
okay, let me say it again.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather?
No, I get it.
Okay.
It's the type of thing like, do I know it?
I know? It's a mind game.
It is a mind game.
Right. I'm like, do I really want French fries? Like, if I want French fries, I want to taste a French fry. I don't want to bite in a French fry and it tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Do I know going in that it tastes like candy? Because then I can prepare myself. Like when you sip something and you think it's like grape juice, but it's water. You know what I mean? Because you can't see the cup. And you're like, what is this? And the person's like, it's water.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think
why would you pick this one? That couldn't even
All right, I'm gonna say
you went with it.
I'm gonna say French fry flavored candy.
Yeah, I will too. Everybody loves French fries.
Right.
Everybody likes candy too. That's hard, Tyra.
Yeah, all right. So think this. So in that situation, you will be putting salt, pepper, and ketchup, like say on your M&Ms. Say on your M&Ms.
No, don't do that.
See?
But the M&Ms don't taste like M&Ms. They taste like French fries.
But when you look at them,
they're M&Ms.
they're M&Ms.
Total mind screw. That is.
Yes, mess your mind all up.
Yeah. Total mind screw. I don't like that one.
So you know what? I rather have candy that tastes like
French fries.
French fries, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
You know why? Because they do have like gummy fries. So if I was to eat them and they taste like French fries and they look like French fries,
right?
So then I'm there.
Okay, I can support that.
I would probably have to say French fries that taste like candy.
How did I know?
I would probably think there's something wrong with them if I don't expect them to taste like candy, but I would take candy flavored French fries.
So this is the other question.
These went bad.
But wait, this is the flip side to this question.
What?
When do you taste? So Justin, when would you taste French fries? If French fries taste like candy,
I probably never had French fries.
You never had French fries again.
Right.
That's all right. I'm not big on French fries.
But he is big on candy.
But I am big on candy. Yeah, I am big on candy. So I like French fries, but I'm not a huge
jacked up question.
Stab.
That's your cousin, Dad.
It's thought provoking.
It is.
Totally
thought provoking. So that's why I picked it. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I even had to read it a couple times.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yes. 1 point for me.
Well, there you have it. That was Would You Rather, brought to you by, like I said, Joab Multimedia. You can check out Joab Multimedia on Instagram and for all your multimedia needs and consultations too. So that was Would You Rather. And so now we're getting into the serious topic. Okay. The topic of human. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we got our Dear 10-7.
Dear 10-7.
Yeah, it's a short one.
My producer over here is keeping me sharp.
All right. So we have a somebody that wrote into us today for our Dear 10-7. Hold on to your butts, y'all. This is can I say butts?
Yeah, I said that's my line.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, we can't say butt. Hold on to your butts, y'all.
We had a whole show about anal.
Oh my God.
Totally.
This one is a shocker. I'm gonna read it. It's a short read. Dear 10-7. When my husband and I were first married, I had no idea why his mother and sisters were so hostile. When they started treating our children the same way, my husband finally addressed the issue. We moved out of town, and he finally told me that when he was in his teenage and early 20s, he had sex with all of them, which was why they didn't like me. After an estrangement of years, he has now started talking to his mothers and sisters again. His mother is now in her 70s. It breaks my heart that he is talking to people he had sex with, but he says it's okay because they are family. In my opinion, he should have nothing to do with them. Please tell me how I need to handle things, all in the family.
Wait, so she's not even addressing the fact that they are his family.
His sisters and his
They're just
and
people that he had sex with to her.
And can we say that Goose is the only one out of the four of us who was shocked by this because the three of us had already read?
Yes.
Yeah, we read it already.
So he had sex with his mom and sisters and his
I'm hoping he's like foster or something like that.
Even still, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Like, you don't have sex with your foster children either.
No, I'm talking about
this. Right, but I understand what he's saying because now you're talking about incest and all. Yeah.
When I read this, I was like, I didn't realize we had viewers in Appalachia.
They like relationship talk too.
Oh my God. I was like,
so what I would say is you have to
seek help.
Yeah, but think about his morals. You know what I'm saying? At least. Right, because if he was groomed to think that was okay, then are you fearful for your children? But it must be a norm in his family if the chicks is jealous that he's married.
I wonder if his sisters have spouses and children.
This is so
they're like, no, that's our penis.
I mean,
that's community pain.
Topic goes a lot deeper than the four of us are qualified.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Bad for the writer, and I really think you should get some counseling for everyone in the family.
You know, I always see something a little different in the stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like what y'all reactions was my reaction, but then when I thought about it, she said a line where she said, "I'm mad that he's talking to people who he had sex with."
Meanwhile, they're his mother and sister.
Meanwhile, it's family.
Right.
It's not an ex-girlfriend or nothing like that. It's family. So she's just seeing it as it's almost like she's not seeing the problem.
Right. That's what I'm with.
She don't want to see the problem.
She's not seeing the problem. She's just seeing it as people from his past.
Right. That's what I like. Well, that's what I said, that she don't see them as his family. That's not the issue. The issue is that he had sex with them.
Right. Like that's an issue in itself to me.
Yeah. Everybody needs help.
She needs help. The wife needs to. The husband needs to come to the realization that what happened
there's a hotline. Trust me.
That's not how families normally operate. I know it goes on generation after generation, but you shouldn't sleep with your mother if she's your biological mother, or your stepmother,
or your step or father, or anything.
Your maternal figure.
Anyone you call mother
shouldn't be trying to sleep with
unless you're Mike Pence.
Oh.
What do you say? Unless you're what?
Mike Pence, because you know he calls his wife mother.
He does?
I didn't know that.
I did not know that. Ew, why? I mean, that's just like a wife calling her husband daddy, I guess.
Well, I call his daddy.
Because sometimes I am daddy.
Oh Lord. Listen now. Listen now. This so TV.
All right. But yeah, I mean, like, the biggest thing that I'm getting out of this is y'all all need some counseling. Y'all need counseling.
Family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you mother being in her 70s, like, what did she do to y'all? Like, I don't know, honey. I don't know.
She must got that Cruella de Vil.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
That is so gross. I mean, anyway, if you're watching, put your comments in. Tell us what you think about this.
Y'all need Jesus.
Yes. Jesus, therapy, medication if need be, all that. And I think they should move away from each other. Like, I don't think they should. I don't.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, that's rough.
This is a complex situation.
This might even be.
No, I'm glad that.
You know what? This is what I want you to do. Write Dr. Phil.
No, don't write Dr. Phil. Tell Dr. Phil about us.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm actually glad that you actually felt comfortable enough to write that to us.
Right.
And we make fun and stuff like that, but you watch the show, you know that, this is a real concern. Like we'll take it seriously as well. This is a real concern, and it's deeper than the fact that he's talking to someone which he had sex with. It's deeper than that. It's family and stuff like that. Now you didn't put in the letter whether it was like Goose said, a foster or something like that. So we just going off the context that you gave us, it's a lot deeper than it seems like what you're admitting to, and we would advise that you seek some type of professional help in this situation.
Most definitely. Yeah, almost immediately, please. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, send your questions or your comments or your letters, or your situations, whatever the case may be.
Your jokes, your would you rathers.
Yeah, all that to 107show@gmail.com. And we will keep you anonymous like we always do. And we'll talk about you a little bit. We'll have fun with you, but we'll give you some sound advice.
Absolutely.
All right. So
moving on
to the actual topic of today. I'm glad my producer kept me. in line. A very serious topic is a topic that is that goes on a lot of times, like under our noses. We don't even know about it. It's the topic of human sex trafficking. And prior to the show starting today, Tara mentioned that a lot of times we hear about these people that go missing, and we never hear about them again. We don't hear that they've been found. We don't hear anything about them again. And a lot of times it turns out that they have been part of the human sex trafficking industry. They were kidnapped and made to have sex with people. And with all that being said, we actually have a professional here to talk to us about human sex trafficking, give us the real information, and just because we don't have the real information that we need to give, but we know people that can. So without further ado, I want to bring in Carla Clanigan. Yes, Carla Clanigan. And if you recognize Carla, she was on the show once before. How you doing, Carla?
Hi, Carla.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the 10-7 show. Appreciate you coming in and joining us again. So we had some articles on sex trafficking that we read, and we had some points that we wanted to take out and talk to you about. But Carla, if you could you explain to us, for people that may not know, exactly what human sex trafficking is? Oh, we can't hear you, Carla. Uh-oh. Well,
right now?
There you go.
Yeah. We got you.
That was close. Human trafficking, like the definition of it, it involves the use of force, fraud, or coercion to obtain labor or commercial sex act. So in order for it to be considered human trafficking, like sex trafficking, you have to have those three elements, especially if the trafficker or pimp is to be held accountable in the court of law. You have to have force, fraud, or coercion.
Okay.
To perform the sex act.
So by force, you mean like physically kidnapping someone?
It could be kidnapping them. It could be threatening them. It could be holding them at gunpoint, knife point. It could be threatening their family. It could be threatening their children. Any kind of threats to their livelihood or well-being.
Okay.
Wow.
And usually, is it with younger women?
The average age, like it starts at like age 12 to 14. And I've seen older women get involved in trafficking, like get caught up in it.
How old are women?
Well, so I'm trying not to be too technical, but if we think of like the Maslow's needs, right? The triangle of needs, the very base of those needs is in order to be successful, you have to have basic shelter, food, clothing, right?
Right.
The next level is love and safety. So at any given time, any one of us could be missing those elements in the start of our life.
Okay.
So if those are missing, then later in life, you could still be vulnerable because you're still searching after those things. And if we look at the drug and alcohol world, those who are dealing with addictions, I mean, there's no age limit to that.
Right.
So you might not get caught up when you're in your 20s or your 30s, but by the time you're 40 or 50 and really wanting to settle down, there could come a guy. I'm working with a woman right now, and she's actually in her late 50s.
Wow.
So can you speak to maybe when I personally think of sex, I think of somebody being held against their will, locked in like a basement or something, somewhere where they cannot escape, and they are being in a sense prostituted. People are either paying or whatever the case may be to have.
Right.
Is that normally what it is, or can it be a mental thing where you're free to go about your business, but you're so mentally involved and attached that you're afraid to leave?
It could be both. Yeah. So it can be, sex trafficking can look like a young teenager, a young adult that comes home every day and goes to school every day. But sometime between after school and, curfew, they're meeting up with a boyfriend, an older gentleman, or even, someone their age, and they're being solicited for sex. It also can look like someone runs away and runs into a guy. Generally, it's a young girl and an older guy, and he's there to provide what she's missing from home, right? He's there to provide love and affection and safety and make her feel good. And he does that. He gets her mind wrapped into just him, and she's vulnerable to that. And then he keeps her and he traffics her. She doesn't have to be, like tied in the basement. Doesn't have to be like you seen the movie Taken. It doesn't have to happen like that. Typically, what we see is domestic sex trafficking. That's what I deal with every day. And it's just your average person who gets caught up because they're vulnerable. They get caught up with a guy who then begins to pimp them out after treating them, buying them nice things, especially these young girls. They're always after cars and fancy clothes, right?
Right.
Nice things. And so they run across these guys who are there to give them those things. And before you know it, they have been lured into sex trafficking because he then, they're vulnerable. They want him. They believe they love him. They believe he loves them. And he begins to sell them.
Wow.
It starts off with them. So what the trafficker does, he first makes them really, really sexually comfortable with him.
He lures them.
Right. So, he lures them away. He makes them very sexually comfortable with him. Talks about how nice their body is. Talks about how they got too many clothes on. Talks about how they shouldn't be ashamed of their body. And he just kind of loves on them in that way. Then he's like, well, if you love me, you will have sex with my friend.
Oh.
Right. So the friend comes along and there's, a party or a group of people around and she has sex with the friend. Then before you know it, there's pictures, there's videos, she's just really, her mind, like you said, her mind is just really wrapped around this guy. And at this point, she'll do anything for him. And so the next step is, well, I need you to have sex with this guy. I need you to have sex with that guy. And before you know it, she's having sex with multiple men during the week, getting money and bringing all the money back to him.
So it is prostitution.
Oh, it is prostitution. It also can look like stripping because typically when men go to a strip club, they're there for the women and they're giving them money, right? But what they don't understand and what the guys say is, I'm helping support her college or I'm helping support whatever her needs are. But what men don't understand is the average stripper, once the night is over, they have to pay the club owner for allowing them to dance. They have to pay the DJ for playing their song when they're dancing. They then have to pay the bouncer for protecting them while they're dancing. And so by the time they leave there, the money that you have given them, they're leaving out of there with 10, 20, maybe 30% of that money. And then that goes to the guy who's the boyfriend who they're going home to.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it doesn't have to actually be sexual.
It doesn't. It can be stripping. It can any force for a sex act. And so it doesn't have to be the actual the actual engagement of sex. It could be just the sexuality of it, I guess.
Wow, never thought of it like that.
Wow. So
it could be just like escorts. So
escort service is the same thing.
Like they don't have sex with the person, they just arm candy. Make them feel good, that type of thing.
Most of the time for sex trafficking, there is the actual act of sex. There's just a lot of things that come along with it, right? So like escorting, sooner or later, there is sex involved and they're being forced to do it. And it's not even just being forced to do that sex act, but it's how they're being forced to do it.
Okay.
Right, and we have the number of the National Human Trafficking Hotline scrolling there at the bottom of the screen, 1-888-373-7888, or you can text help or info to 233-733. We're gonna have that scrolling at the bottom of the screen there, just in case you know somebody or you may need that number yourself. We're gonna have that information for you.
Yes.
My question to you is, for the average person like myself, what signs should I look out for that somebody is being trafficked? Because how can I'm just sitting here thinking how can I help? What can I do? What are the signs that I need to look for? in a person?
So typically how they appear is you'll see a younger girl with an older guy. Something about it just doesn't look right? She's not his daughter. They don't look anything alike. It's just something weird about it. And you see her following his commands and being very quiet. Like if they're in a restaurant, she's not really making eye contact.
Oh, you froze, Carla.
I froze.
Okay.
Am I on?
No, you're good. You're
good.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, so like if they're in a restaurant, she's not making eye contact with anyone. She's pretty much
we can still
looking
hear
down.
you.
You're good. Go ahead. Yeah, you're good, Carla. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
She doesn't make eye contact.
Okay.
She looks down. She doesn't necessarily look at the people who are around. She doesn't look around, and she doesn't look him in the eye. And they're very quiet. It also can look like, so that's the young girl and the older guy, but it can just look like a woman who is looking disheveled. She's not dressed appropriately according to the weather.
Okay.
She is outside during the same cycle, right? So you always see this girl on the same street at the same time.
Okay.
Again, looking disheveled or not dressing appropriate for the weather. The hard part about trying to identify someone who could be trafficked is because it can look like you and I.
Right.
She doesn't have a specific look. If you've seen the ladies that I worked with every day, they look like your average person. Most times, anyone that has a drug or alcohol addiction or is homeless or living in the streets or runaways, they are vulnerable to traffickers.
Okay.
I
So
haven't
it's
met
like
a woman
somebody
yet that
who
has
might
been.
not necessarily be looking for this person. Like maybe they come from a not so stable background, so it's easy for them to get lost
in the world. Yep.
Right.
In the world of trafficking.
Yeah.
I read an article about 20 facts, and they said a lot of times children in foster care are vulnerable, extremely vulnerable to trafficking.
It's just because they're in foster care, right? So they're missing the love, safety, and affection and the connection with real family. Homeless, the homeless youth, the runaways, children in foster care, women and men who have drug and alcohol addictions because they're looking for the drug and they're pretty much willing to do whatever it takes to get the drug.
Now,
go ahead.
I said, now what's the percentage of men that are trafficked or
They-
young boys?
They say 70% women and 30% men. That's like the average numbers out there. But trafficking is like $1 billion industry. It's only second to drugs. Only second to drugs. And it's just because you can sell a person over and over and over again. The supply is unlimited. Whereas drugs, you got to re-up.
But how can you do that? I mean, I guess for boys, these must be young boys. Because I think about my own kid. I mean, he's a pretty solid guy. Like, how do you get?
But it's not about the physical all the time. It's about the mental.
Right.
So what are they in that same situation?
If you get in the kid's head and manipulate him and then he starts to think that his parents is against him and things of that nature, and this supporting him and giving him the thing. Suppose a kid want a PS5, but his parents can't do it. Now this dude come through or this chick come through. I got this fresh PS5 for you. You do what I'm saying? So now this kid is like, oh, okay. And now he starts to listen. He wants to hang out with this person. And then they get the hook. They'll start with something small. Can you do this for me? And then they go, yeah, I got you. And then they go do it. And they're like, oh, okay, I can trust you. I appreciate that. And then it's something bigger. And then they work up to the whole sex thing.
I never even thought about like boys being involved with it. I just in my head, like I have a lot of misconceptions, and that's why I'm glad you agreed to come on and educate us, because in my head, when I think about sex trafficking, and I said this earlier to Goose, I was like, I imagine, like you said, like taken, like you go on vacation and you're kidnapped, or you leave the bar and your girlfriends go one way and you go the other way and you're kidnapped. And in my head, I'm like, they're taken overseas. But when in reality, it's going on right here in our own area.
Domestic sex trafficking.
subject.
It's happening in all of our suburbs, in all of our cities. It's happening everywhere. I think I've had cases from every county, you know, Montgomery, Philly, Bucks, Delaware. I've had local cases and from other states as well. And I've had the women who are just, I've had women who come from really good families. I've had women who come from, you know, no families.
Right.
You know, where as children they were abused.
Family, how do you find yourself here? Like, how does that happen? I can't wrap my head around how that happens when you come from a good family that you have love and support.
Well, I mean, think about it. We have social media and young people, these young adults and young girls, they're always searching for something. It doesn't matter if you come from a 2-parent household with lots of love and affection and vacations and, you know, no wants. They're still looking at their friends. They're still wanting, you know, girls are growing up fast. They're looking for the male attention. They're looking to, you know, do something that their parents wouldn't allow them to do. And they're vulnerable. Social media, I mean, it's horrible. The FBI agents that I work with, they're always on social media catching these guys who are, you know, talking to the girls and telling them how beautiful they are, how pretty they are, how, you know, they should take that sweatshirt off and show their body because they're beautiful. And then the next thing you know, they're trying to meet them. And then the next thing you know, all those other steps, right?
Yeah.
We have there's a case that was a recent case that the FBI worked on, and this girl met this guy. I'm sorry if you can hear noise in the background. There's a lot happening. She met this guy. She met this guy. He was a 22-year-old out of Philadelphia. She was 16. She met him on the internet. They were talking for a while. She decided to meet up with him. Within 24 hours of her meeting with him, he had got her and had her in his basement and kept her there for 2 weeks before the FBI figured out where she was at. And for those 2 weeks, he was selling her. And he was a 22-year-old dude out of Philadelphia. Look, the thing is, when we think of pimp, what do you think of? What's a pimp look like?
Like
Ice-T. Ice-T.
You think gold chains?
It's crazy because that's the thought that I had that thought until I saw, I think, what was that movie, American Pimp or something like that, and then you saw just some regular cats, dressed like we're all dressed right now,
right? It's unfortunately, it could look like your average dude walking down the street. A lot of the guys who are selling drugs, they also are trafficking these young girls.
Wow.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback on the online thing you were talking about. I got an article from Business Insider about 20 interesting facts about human trafficking. And they're saying that trafficking is no longer just a street. It goes online. 50 women said in March that they were sexually abused as victims of Backpage, an online sex marketplace that pled guilty to human trafficking charges.
Yeah. Backpage is shut down now. We worked really, really hard to get that shut down. But I mean, you shut it down and there's what? 20 more pages.
Other pages.
Like OnlyFans is one. OnlyFans, and that's really popular with the young people.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And Craigslist.
I've seen a lot of people.
Craigslist is still doing the same stuff behind the scenes.
Even after, I mean, you hear about the whole Craigslist killer. Why are people still meeting people?
Well, but get this. What I found interesting in my research is that human trafficking was not illegal until the year 2000.
Right. So 21 years ago. 21 years.
So they passed. That was when the Trafficking Victims Protection Act was passed.
Right.
Which made it a federal crime.
Right.
I said, oh my God. Imagine, people have been getting away with this for years.
But think about it. Most traffickers are never brought to court. Out of all of the cases that I've had, and I've probably worked with maybe 10 to 25 women a year because we keep them for about 2 years in our safe house. We've only had a handful of cases for sex trafficking that the trafficker was actually brought into court. They usually just get away and the person who's trafficking them never is brought to justice.
Well, I think is that because it's so hard to prove coercion?
There's a couple things. First of all, the girls are terrified, right? They are terrified to face that trafficker. Out of all of the mental abuse and physical abuse, I mean, most of the ladies that come to us, they have had their face, and I mean like their jaw and their eyes are like broken multiple times.
By the person that's trafficking them?
Both by the trafficker as well as the Johns.
Wow.
So like we have this one young lady who was under our care. She was trafficked. She was a stripper. She went with another friend of hers that was a stripper. They drove down South Carolina to do like across the states strip clubs. And she woke up, like they got a motel. She woke up and her friend was gone, and her friend had sold her to a trafficker.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, so he was the trafficker, the guy. He started trafficking her out of this motel room at a truck stop at gunpoint. So the men that were coming in to have sex with her were doing it under gunpoint.
And they were just okay with that.
After he had beat her up. So not only is she beat up and bruised and swollen and bloody, but he's at gun, he's holding a gun there, and you still got people coming in buying sex.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like psychotic.
Now, Carl, I understand that some of these dudes brand their ladies.
Yes, definitely.
And tattoos.
So it really is like slavery. Like it's legit like slavery.
Oh, yes, yes. A lot of guys, a lot of traffickers, a lot of pimps, they have certain brands. And it's usually like some picture with their name. If you Google it and look online, you'll see like pictures. They look like an average tattoo, but there's some kind of initial or number inside of that. Just like the name, like how you hear the young people talk about wifey. That's because a pimp has multiple wives. He has multiple girls. And so that's where that name kind of comes from.
I didn't know that.
Throw my wifey shirt in the trash.
Let me ask you this, Carla. There comes I'm assuming not all victims of human sex trafficking escape. I assume they end up running their course. What happens?
Did not know that either.
When that happens, do the traffickers kill them, or what happens at that point?
They say the average lifespan for someone that is being trafficked is 7 years. So if you don't get out within 7 years, most likely you're going to die. That's your way out, death.
Wow. I also read in the Business Insider article that migrant workers, immigrants, are highly prone to sex trafficking. So it's happening like in your farmlands. They're coming to work on people's farms, and then they're trafficking these people.
Yeah, it's not even just sex trafficking for them. It's a lot of labor trafficking that's happening.
Okay.
So a lot of the foreign women are brought to our country under the auspices of, nannying or housekeeping services, or farming. And what happens is they come and they're promised X amount of money. They're coming to our country to get the money to take back to whatever country they're from, and they get taken advantage of. And before you know it, they're held hostage just to do the work and not getting paid for it.
So they become like indentured servants, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, on the article it says other than the sex trade, trafficking victims often work in private residences, on farms, the hospitality industry, and in the health and beauty service industry.
Yes, that's your massage parlor,
right? The day spas and all of that.
Right.
So all right, let me ask you this, because that just made me think of something. People go to what they call the washy-washy, or the wishy-washy, or something like that. Are those normal, like the little massage parlors where you
a lot of those are a lot of those are labor traffic victims.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of your nail salons are labor traffic victims.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you
I work really
serious?
closely with the FBI, and when I first started working with them, I found out that my nail salon was under investigation. And so, now my eyes are open. So like I was going there paying attention. There's one guy, he's in control of everything. All of the money's going in one place. There's 2 young girls that work there and they're dressed totally inappropriate. Like completely inappropriate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind.
So I guess you go to another place to get your nails done.
Now I do.
Right, because, I mean, like, how do you know? It's kind of like the blood diamonds thing. Like, how do you know? Like, I don't want my money going to this.
Hiding in plain sight.
Right. How do I know that?
You really won't know, right? I only knew because I work with the FBI and I'm privy to some of their investigations. But I think what it is for us, right? Average people, we just need to be alert and pay attention. If you see any woman and something's not right, whether it's your nail salon, whether it's the massage parlor, like if you notice that there's suitcases or bedding in a massage parlor or the spa or in the back of your nail salon, something's not right about that. If they're all, they all ride in the same car and they're all going to the same location. If you ask them where they live and they're all telling you the same location, something's not right about that. If it's a young girl that you see, in going to school, when you drop your kid off at school and there's just something not right about this kid and your daughter or your son is saying, Mom, she's not paying attention in school. She used to be a good student. She's not doing this. She's complaining about this. She's sleeping in class. Something's not right about that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of, I won't say a lot. There's enough parents that are trafficking their own kids.
Oh,
wow.
There's enough fathers and mothers and aunts that are trafficking their own kids. A lot of it's generational. If like there's a family that has a reputation of selling drugs or pimping back in the day, there's a big chance that the younger generation is doing the same exact thing.
That's true. I used to work for a social service agency, and we did have a mother who it was for pregnant and parenting women, and we did have a mother who was selling her kids.
Yeah.
And when we talked to the kids, we found out that her mother sold her as well.
Right.
So this was a generational thing.
Generational. The school sites are really popular, and they call this one pimp. They call him a Romeo pimp. Because he's like the guy in school. He may be a little bit older. He may be a transfer to the school, but he is the one that all the girls are after. His social media is filled with girls.
Okay.
And he could be the one that's getting these girls to, getting their attention and then passing them on. And he's considered a Romeo pimp because he's the cute kid that all the girls want to be with.
Got it.
And so what does this say? Like, you got to really watch out for your own friends and people you hang around. I know I watched a documentary about Jeffrey Epstein on Netflix. And, one of the girls, she refused his advances, but then she went to her high school and brought other girls to him.
Yeah, the girls, they will use the girls. If they can get one girl, they will use her to get other girls. If they can get, we're always, as women, we're with our daughters, we're always looking out for the guys, right? But we don't pay too much attention to the women. The women who talk to them in the stores, the women who talk to them, but also there's a lot of female pimps, or there's a lot of young girls or older women that work for the pimp that will lure the girls away as well.
Wow.
You just have to pay attention that if it doesn't look right, if the girl's not making eye contact, if you see someone in the bathroom and she's really nervous and jittery and something's just your gut, like it just doesn't seem right. Call the trafficking hotline. Call the local police department.
Can I ask you a question that you may not be able to answer, legally be able to answer, if you know the answer? The DC madam, was that situation human trafficking?
Okay.
I don't think she was charged with trafficking.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't follow the case really closely, but I don't think she was charged with trafficking.
Okay.
And we have to remember every prostitute and every escort service and every woman who gets charged with, either illegal stripping, prostitution, or escorting, it does not mean that they were trafficked.
Right.
Okay.
They have to have those three elements of force, fraud, and coercion. Like they have to assume that they're getting one thing, but end up getting something else.
Wow.
Because the news is calling everything. They pick up a group of women and someone's in charge, they're automatically calling it trafficking, and that it does not meet the qualifications or the definition of trafficking.
So trafficking, you said it a few times. It has to have all three of those elements
in order for no, one or the other.
One of the three.
Force, fraud, or coercion.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the force is like taking them or forcing them to do something. The fraud is like saying, you can live here. I'll give you house. I'll give you safety. I'll give you shelter. I'll give you food if you do these things.
Wow. So we are about 9 minutes out to the end of the show, and I want to try to end it on a lighter note. This is a really heavy topic. What for the organization that you work with, like what type of things do they have in place to help women who have been rescued assimilate back into society?
So I work for a long-term, it's a 2-year residential program, and we're there for restoration and healing. So what we do is when the women come to us, we offer them shelter. We have a 6-bed house that's a beautiful farmhouse in the middle of nowhere because it's a safe house. So we're offering them safety. We do all of their transportation to and from all appointments. When they first come to us, we're able to get them a lot of physical help, right? Take care of all their physical medical needs. And then we work on their mental health needs. And if they have a drug and alcohol addiction, we begin to work on that by getting them set up with the providers so that they can get the treatments that they need. And then at the house, we're just there to teach them life skills, social skills. And I think the biggest thing that we do is we just love on them, right? We're trying to teach them how that they can trust us. We're helping them build trust. And we're also helping them like with the reunification back in their families. Depends on who their families are, because all of their families are not safe people. And that's what we do. And we hope usually they're there for 2 years. But if we can get them past that 1 year, then they're kind of ready to start assimilating back into society.
And then when they go back into society, do they go into if they come from Philly, do they go to a whole different area?
Some of them go back to the area that they come from. It depends on how comfortable they feel. A lot of times they're not trafficked in the area that they live in, and sometimes they are. So what we do is, even though they graduate our program, we help them. We make sure before they leave, they have a full-time job with benefits. We help them get vehicles, and then we help them get an apartment, and we help them furnish their apartment. And then we still case manage them and mentor them for months after. So kind of like once you're part of our family, you're forever an alumnus of our family.
Nice. That's awesome.
Now, in one of the articles and some of the research that we were doing, we found out that the Trump organization, what's it called?
The Trump administration.
They actually cut some money out of programs to help these victims. So how did that affect your work?
It has affected everyone's work tremendously. Without the funds, most organizations had to cut services. Fortunately, my organization, we don't run off of government money. All of our money comes from private donations and funding from private owners of churches, private owners of corporations, so in our fundraising. So we don't have any state or federal money. So the money that gets cut doesn't affect us. We're blessed tremendously.
Absolutely.
And so if people that are watching, if they wanted to donate to your organization, is there a way that we can donate without exposing like where things are?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways. You would donate either to In His Eyes Outreach, which is www.inhiseyesoutreach, or you can donate to Worthwhile Wear, and that's www.worthwhilewear.org. And if you go to either one of those sites, it's available for all the donor information is on there, and you can always contact me, and then I can get you connected.
Okay.
Through PayPal, Cash App.
A lot of times when you want to donate, we've given money to larger organizations who have squandered our money. So I definitely, would be interested in, putting my money in a place where I know it's being put to good use.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
On our page.
Always looking for donations of any type and anything that would help our ladies, right? So they like during holidays, during Valentine's Day, we do self-care.
Okay.
We like, gift certificates out to dinner, restaurants. We try to expose them to things that they've never had a chance to be exposed to.
Okay.
Okay.
I did have one other question, but I forgot it that fast. I had one. Well, I do want to mention, that down there at the bottom of the screen, down there, the National Human Trafficking Hotline. You can call that number if you know something. If you may think you know something, call that number 1-888-373-7888, or you can text help or info to 233-733.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
They will ask you some questions, and you don't have to say who you are, and they will just make a file, and then that file will go to the local law enforcement.
Okay. And then once again, for all of you people that are in organizations, fraternities, sororities, any type of social clubs and groups, and you're looking for a place to donate where your money is going to be used properly, please, could you go ahead and let us know the websites where we can donate? One more time.
www.inhiseyes.outreach. It's www.inhiseyes.org.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also Worthwhile Wear. It's www.worthwhile, WORTHWHILEWEAR.org.
Okay. I'm going to put both of those on our pages so people can refer back to it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Carla, I want to thank you for being with us again. This is your second time on the show.
You.
Right.
And awesome information, great information, a wealth of information there. Tell the family we said hello. We hope everybody's doing well here in 2021.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. That is Carla Clanigan, and definitely a wealth of knowledge there. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Wow, so much.
Deep.
So much
Yes,
going on.
deep.
We were able to learn some things too. At least I was. I'm hoping everybody got to learn.
I just want to know, like, what can we do? How can we help? Like, what can we do? Shout out to Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, they actually set up an organization. I'm looking for the information now. Oh Lord. And they were able to help rescue a lot of victims of human trafficking. What'd you say?
Mm-hmm. They're a little delayed.
Oh, they're a little delayed.
Tara and Goose a little delayed on that. Either they are or we are, one or the other. We can't really tell.
Okay.
But
so let me repeat that. Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore started a nonprofit to help combat sex trafficking called Thorn. He reported that they have identified 5,791 child victims and rescued 103 in 2017.
Yep. I think it was like
shout out to
180 some odd victims.
Right. And that was just in 2017. So, who knows how many people they have rescued now. So shout out to them. So if you're looking for some place to donate, to give, to help, look into these organizations, because this is a big, big issue. It's huge in New York. It's huge in those border states. And our current administration, they were on the Huffington Post talking about how they wanted to help, these organizations, but eventually end up cutting the funding for legal representation for people who have been trafficked. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's about that time, folks. It's about that time for that. You know what it's called, the brick wall ending. You know how we do it. Of course, we appreciate y'all for being with us. We appreciate our guest once again, Miss Carla Clanigan, for giving us quite a wealth of knowledge. And if you have any information,
thanks, lady.
or if you're looking for information, you can hit the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888, or you can text help or info to you can text it to 233-733. I don't want to mess that up. You know, English language.
Yeah, we'll put it in the group.
We'll put it in the group.
And keep your eyes open in your nail salons, ladies.
Yeah, your nail salons and your massage parlors and anywhere else.
Everything else.
You know what I'm wondering? Now that we're talking about this, do you guys ever pay attention to like mattress stores?
No.
Nah, I can only remember being in the mattress store like one time in my life.
I'm not trying to be funny.
No, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like the perfect
once
cover.
upon a time there were so many mattress stores that popped up overnight.
I honestly, I'm paying attention, but I can remember.
Yeah.
I can remember back in the day, a lot of mattress store, a lot of mattress store,
big
commercials
trucks pulling up out back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, y'all. Well, we're going to get up out of here. Once again, we want to thank y'all for checking into the 10-7 show with Tara, Goose, and myself. Make sure you follow us
popped
on.
up so fast, so many of them overnight.
You guys are on a delay. We getting ready to end it.
We make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the 10-7 show, and also join the Facebook group at 10-7, and of course follow New Twist Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And with all that being said, for Goose, Tara, and myself, we are out of here. We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.